Well, Hank Aaron's name is synonymous with Mobile. We have a number of places around town named for Hank Aaron. Peter Albeck joins us now to talk more on Hank's connection to the city.
Yeah, there's a number of places, Robbie, just at the Boyhood Home and Museum. Of course, the first thing that we named for Hank here in Mobile was the Hank Aaron Loop, the road that surrounds downtown. That would be Broad Canal, Water, and Beauregard streets. And then Hank Aaron Park that we see here in Tolmanville, that was called Carver Park when Hank was growing up right across the street. He played baseball there. In the early 90s, they renamed that park. Of course, Hank grew up in Tolmanville and also down the bay, went to Central High School. And the biggest honor, though, Devin, for Hank Aaron, of course, was naming of Hank Aaron Stadium back in 1997 when that stadium opened and the Bay Bears began playing. And WKRG News 5 broadcast that very first game, and Hank called it really one of the proudest moments of his life. Here he is back in 1997 at the opening of the Hank.
Most fulfilling moments of my life. Also, it is one of the happiest moments of my life because my mother, my father, my wife, and most of my family here are in attendance. And I want to congratulate all of you, the fans here in Mobile, and hope that this ballpark will continue to be filled just as it is tonight. Thank you and congratulations very much.
Well, how did he do when he threw out the first pitch? Do you remember that?
I remember, and we might see it actually. It's a strike, and the catcher, I think we're going to see it here. He's kind of off the screen, but that's Mr. Margano, the owner at the mound, and that's Mike Dow with the big fist pump there, then mayor of Mobile, catching that first pitch from Hank, and we'll all remember that. That was a very big day for the city of Mobile, and it was for Hank as well. You
could tell he was really getting choked up when he was talking. And of course, it was always a big deal in recent years when he came back to Mobile.
Yeah, and Hank would come back. He had a house down on Dog River and enjoyed fishing down there, and would come back many times. And there would be big events, when Hank would come back. I believe this is in 2017 when MAMGA honored Hank at Mardi Gras, and he came back. I remember in 2010 when they moved the house out to Hank Aaron Stadium. They had all the Hall of Famers, Reggie Jackson, Bob Feller, and many others that were there that day. And he was there for the Southern League All-Star Game in 2005. I remember being at a luncheon with all the minor league players, and they were in awe of Hank Aaron, even in 2005, a good 30 years after he was done playing.
Hank, of course, just one of 5 Hall of Famers from Mobile. Can you talk a little bit about not just his legacy, but that generation of ball players from Mobile?
Yeah, I think when you think baseball, we've got our 5 Hall of Famers, but I think Hank is at the top of the list. Satchel Paige was a little earlier generation. Most of his great years were in the Negro Leagues. And then you came along with that golden generation, I'm going to call it, of baseball players from Mobile, led by Hank Aaron, his brother Tommy, Cleon Jones and Tommy Agee, and Amos Otis, that outfield for the Miracle Mets in 1969. Willie McCovey, a Hall of Famer. But I think Hank, of all those players, was the most accomplished. And other than Cleon, who's lived his whole life here in Mobile, up in the Plateau area, that Hank was really most connected of those players, probably to the city, and spent more time here.
I know, Pete, you know an awful lot about baseball and about Hank Aaron. Can you talk a little bit about your personal memories of him?
Yeah, it was just such a thrill every time you got to talk to Hank. I mean, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, players of all time. And I remember once I got to MC an event, the Touchdown Club of Mobile brought in Hank, and this is 2010, I believe, and he really didn't like to give speeches. So they said, would you come out and have a conversation? That's kind of how he liked to do it. And so I did that. And it was maybe 60, 75 people. It was a small crowd, kind of an intimate crowd. Hank and I just kind of talking. And the one story I'll tell quickly is he talked about when he got his first big paycheck with the Milwaukee Braves. He cashed the paycheck, brought the money home, spread it out on his bed so he could just look at it. I think it was $5,000, and he told that story that night, and it was a great evening and a great experience for me.
I bet his parents were just so proud of him.
Absolutely, and I got to meet a number of his family over the year, and they were all great people.
Gosh, so many great stories, and we'll be sharing them throughout the day. Thanks, Pete.
Sure.
Well, Governor Kay Ivey tweeted out her condolences today on the passing of Hank Aaron, saying she is saddened by his passing. He inspired so many young boys and girls to pursue their dreams and pursue excellence in whatever they do. I extend my deepest sympathies to his family, friends, and former teammates. And of course, WKRG News 5 will continue honoring Hammer and Hank throughout today.